Hey everybody, I am working on the Celestant-Prime, and as you can see I've already done some work here, and this was really in an attempt to try out some colors and see where I wanted to go with it. And one of the things I have decided to do with this build is to use nearly all watercolors paint, except I'm probably going to still be using some Citadel shades. I don't think I'll be using much of anything else. And right now I just wanted to show you how I did my metallics, the sort of primary gold here. Didn't do too much on these pieces because they're not really a lot of gold on them, and I really wanted to save the bulk for you. But let's look at our colors. I'm going to be starting out with, this is metallic black copper, metallic antique gold, and these are all metallics, so I'll stop saying metallic. This is bright gold, pale gold, and silver. Now, I'm going to admit I'm going to do this in a little bit different order than I did it on these other pieces, because I actually ended up using this as a wash, and I don't know that that's really the best way to go about it. So I'm going to actually start with, I'm actually going to start with the black copper. And I'm just going to be working on this upper chest piece for now. One thing I've discovered about watercolors paints in general is that they actually dry brush really well, and dry brushing is not something I usually use in my repertoire of painting techniques, because it tends to be messy. You don't get very smooth finish with it, but I have been using it more and more with the watercolors. Not even necessarily in the traditional way you might use it. It's almost like a way of doing quick highlighting, and the brush isn't necessarily even all that dry when I do it, so maybe I should be calling it something else. But here is almost more of a traditional dry brush. This is a really cool copper color. All right. Now we're going to move to the antique gold. And this is really more of a true layering. So I've actually thinned this down quite a bit. It's almost like a metallic glaze now. I'm going to put this down in a couple of layers. And of course avoiding the deepest shadow areas. I have to admit, I've really been enjoying painting this model. It's a lot like painting a Space Marine without a lot of the superfluous detail. So it's a little bit more there's less moving from color to color. And you can just kind of focus on broad areas and figuring out how to bring them out and make them interesting, rather than having to worry about, oh, there's a little thingy, and there's a grenade, and there's a little detailed bit. It's all very kind of broad strokes. So this is my second layer here, and this is brightening up the kind of main color. And you can see I'm being fairly messy about it. It is kind of a dry brush. As I put more layers on, I just make sure to focus more and more on the highest highlight areas. And the metallic will continue to brighten up. Alright, now we're moving to the metallic bright gold. And now we're going to focus even more on upper areas. Alright, and now metallic pale gold. focusing on brightest highlight areas. The upper portion of this plate. Anywhere where light comes straight down on top of it, these broad plates here. Edges. But again, this is like a really light dry brush. There's very little paint on the brush at all. See? And then the silver. And the silver is reserved for edges. And the tips of these teeth. The edges of the eyebrow. And again, there's very little paint on the brush. You're just getting the barest amount of metal flake on those locations. We're going for subtle. All right. Now to bring it back down, I'm going to use some Reichland Flesh Shade. We're going to focus this in the crevices. This isn't a wash. This is actually just it's a more focused shade. It adds a little bit more richness to the color. It deepens the shadows just a bit. And this is a really good way to use the shades as well. You don't always have to be washing it in. Over the top of the whole thing. You can just spread it thinly on the areas that you want a subtle change in shadow. Pretty good. Matches up pretty well with what I did before. This is a part of the Watercolors turquoise range here. I think I'm primarily using the middle three colors, 2, 3, and 4, to get that color. And so when I finish up the rest of this, that will be the kind of secondary color there. But that's it. That's the that's how I do my metallics on the Celestant-Prime. So if you liked this video and you want other people to make sure that they see it, definitely hit like on the video. And if you want to make sure you see the rest in this series and watch the Celestant-Prime get completed, then you'll definitely want to subscribe. And that's going to do it for now, and I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.